What's going on, everybody? This is Roster of the Misfit Effect. And of course, I'm joined with my wonderful, awesome, spectacular, sometimes very patient co-host, the lovely Miss Sarah Lace.
Why sometimes? Actually, you know what? We'll skip that because I'm not that impatient or patient as it goes. But I have been patiently, super patiently waiting for today's guest. She is a fellow Latina, and oh my God, I was there not for her first scene, but I was there for one of her first girl scenes, and ooh, Bobby,
Yeah.
let me tell you, the amazing Curly Rican has only just begun.
Thank you. Thank you for that amazing entrance. Not only that, I appreciate you holding me to such standard and giving me the opportunity to be one of the people that I started literally working with. It was one of my literally first girl scenes ever. I was really nervous, really inexperienced. I learned a lot from sensuality, camera performance, and so much. And you were so open and so welcoming to that. And that's something that I wish a lot of other females will instill in this community so we can grow and just if I am here, it's because of people like you guys that I learned from and gave me the chance to do so.
Thank you. See, my
Definitely.
whole vibe is the Latina next door. And I feel
Yeah,
like that's kind of the vibe that you go with as well, like we can be kinky and freaky and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, we are that just sexy, normal
right.
Latina next door.
Right, absolutely. We have definite commonalities and general traits that it doesn't matter where you're Latina from, whether you're Colombian or you're Puerto Rican or Venezuelan. We all have our little, knickknacks that are exactly across the board, and we project that sensuality. But also, hey, it could be your neighbor. You know what I mean? That's also one of the projects I do want to bring up is basic scenarios of Latinas. That's a project I want to work on later on, maybe later on this summer that I script out Latina basic scenes and play on that and bring new talent, especially that Latina talent that sometimes is underlooked.
Exactly. See, one of the things I had in mind was basically where it kind of starts like a cooking show. Like
Oh,
making some tacos, just that traditional
yeah,
Latina vibe. And
yeah.
then, está comiendo.
Yeah, está comiendo, just let on to something else. I love it. I love it. It's perfect. And you know what? People do forget that, yes, we are normal people and men love and we all enjoy to see people in their normal day to day, and that can also be sensual, right? So we get a lot of like, oh, they're not traditional and this and that. No, I'm still traditional. I still cook and clean, but I can do it in a sexy way to teach you that, hey, your next door, your wife can still be sexy while cooking and cleaning.
Exactly. That's what I love to show off.
Hmm.
Like there is other performers that will embody that like party girl vibe and stuff like
Right,
that, but we are not party girls. We are
right.
really the Latinas next
Very
door.
normal, right? Yes, and that's okay. What works for everyone works differently. I definitely do not shame that. I love that you're open to expand on that mentality, right? Because I am very big on everyone's niche is different, and what necessarily doesn't work for you works for me, right? And we kind of like to play along that. We are projecting a lifestyle, and we are sex icons, pretty much, right? So people look
Absolutely.
up to us, and also people want to transmit what is accessible to them sometimes. So let's say that my audience is not necessarily party audience. Maybe it's a truck driver that he has a normal wife at home, you know what I mean? And he's a Latinx. So I cater to that as well because they want to see normal people doing normal stuff. Not always they can hang out with a party girl or find themselves in those scenarios. So definitely it's great to touch on those more normal scenarios and kind of say, hey, we're all pretty much the same. If I can do it, you can do it.
Absolutely. And then going to the topic of not normal scenarios,
Yeah.
did I see you go to a concert and have like a sign or something that was like, follow me on OnlyFans?
Oh my goodness. Oh my God, I just saw that. I was hoping someone somewhere saw that. That was probably like a year ago, right? So
Yeah.
you know how there's like city carnivals and festivals and all that. So I advertised myself alone, right? And this idea I actually got it from Kusumi. Watching her put like a big sign, I think it was an exotica. She was out with a big sign, it was like a truck. And I'm like, maybe I can't afford to do that just yet, but I can reach people some other way. So this was a festival going on in the city of Maya West. Everyone was going there. There was rappers and stuff. And I went with my sign that my friends helped me made, and it said free ass laps. And then it was free ass laps. And on the back it had my OnlyFans. So I was
Yeah.
walking around the festival, like, yeah, yeah, free ass laps. And you know how people are drunk and they're trying to have fun and all that. So yeah, you're definitely drawing attention to yourself while on the back saying, hey, you liked it, look at more. You know what I mean? It's marketing yourself. It doesn't have to be that expensive. You know what I mean? It's just
Mhm.
having the idea, having the mindset, having a group, and just wanting to go out there and do it.
Absolutely. And it's pretty inspiring to see you do that at a basically it was 18 plus community style event, and that sounds
Yeah.
amazing. You
Yeah,
know?
and it was so multi-generational as well that I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of skeptical and nervous about how I was gonna be, received because there was like a lot of families. But I'm like, mind you, who has their family at midnight at these events? So some wives came up pulling their husbands who were shy, slap her, slap her. So it turned into a whole thing, you know what I mean? So it was families, it was friends, it was just it was wholesome, you know what I mean? And it's just expanding in the community in a more less threatening way, making it fun.
See, I love stuff like that. I personally don't have the balls to do that just yet. I saw it and I was like, oh baby, I want to make a sign or
Right?
a t-shirt or something. But I was like,
It's
hell
so hard. Aside from that, I'm gonna tell you another scenario, and this was a trial and error, and I will learn from this, right? So, like sometimes cuss words not and are not for everyone in shirts. So my catchphrase when I do my scenes is, and can I cuss? I'm not sure. Is
You
"ay
can,
puñeta."
okay, Curly, you can say whatever cuss word
yeah.
you want. Just don't say like a slur, but you can say whatever cuss
Oh
word you want.
no, never,
I don't, I
never.
don't, I don't, I don't curse, but you can say every cuss word in the world.
Never, never. So I say "ay puñeta" in my videos, right? So that's a great shirt. So I was like, the Hispanic community is gonna love this. I made my first "ay puñeta" shirt. I went to the Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York, and I was more made mug than ever in my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
So that one was a trial and error. That one didn't work. So I understand why it's a bold move because it's definitely trial and error depending on the environment you are too.
Mhm.
So differently, I've been trying different
Wait, what,
exposes.
what,
I'm
what does
on
that word mean for us uncultured
like
folks?
fuck.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like saying, oh fuck,
Like
Like
saying
I
basically.
oh
only, I
fuck.
only know, I only know one cuss word in Spanish, so
Yeah.
the one that starts with a P. So,
Oh, with a U and a T.
yeah,
Ah, that one, that one. We all know
that's all.
that one.
That's only what I know. I am
I
so
don't know if you
uncultured.
can try ay puñeta and then dot 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 dámelo.
Or I puñe, dámelo. I kind of just abbreviate it like that.
Yeah. Some I
Yeah.
think maybe that might
I'm gonna
work
try
a
to
little
put a
better.
play on words, but it was like you say, that one was definitely one of the embarrassing ones. I am not gonna lie. And the next one I'm trying to do is like, have you guys watched Impractical Jokesters?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to do Impractical Jokesters in Puerto Rico, but
Okay.
kind of in a more sexy way, more organic way. So,
Yeah.
and because I'm doing stand up, I have a very good, solid group of comedians that would be willing to do those skits. So I'm hoping that one also, let's see if it brings attention, playing to the masses.
That would be awesome. See, if you
Yeah,
did a comedy show, I would fly over and see you.
you have
I'd
to.
love to watch that
You
live.
have to. I'm practicing. I went to a competition actually, and it was only my third stand up ever, and I was finalist at my third stand up ever.
Oh,
So
shit.
definitely in a couple months, you guys should definitely come over. I will definitely have a show.
A triple X comedian. Okay.
Right? That's
But,
fun.
mhm.
It's fun. Yeah, definitely.
Fuck yeah.
I think
So,
that
I do have a question. I do know that you're not signed with an agency. So, what is it like being a free agent?
It's definitely challenging because you wanna be very detailed, very you wanna be thorough, do your research
Mhm.
with the companies that you want to work for because you're not setting yourself just for the present and for the now, but also for the future, right? Like the internet stays forever, right? So you don't want to build a reputation that later on is kind of hard to backtrack from, and you want to make sure that you market yourself, and I would say bird feed people, and not
Mhm.
everyone's gonna agree to that mindset, but this is the way I see it, and maybe new content creators on the rise can kind of have this similarity or help themselves with this, right? So I thought when I came in, if I do every category all at once, what what are people going to see later on down the line? How long am I going to be able to extend my career until I'm not able to do anything else, until I have to do very bizarre things, right? And not only that, but right, but not only that, that's the reality of, but then I would have to accommodate my rates to kind of wiggle around it because of what I've already done, and it's so watered down. So that's the way I see it. So it gets kind of hard to market yourself in that way, also because I'm not represented to navigate and know who will be those companies that will give you the opportunity in a good lighting, because I've had bad experiences that I've had to come back from. It's kind of really hard. You don't want to shoot with just everyone. You want to shoot with reputable people, people that are good performers, that you're paying for the quality of the content, you're traveling and the expenses of the trade or whatever arrangement you come to terms is equally beneficial, not just in present tense, but in future terms. And I sometimes think not everyone thinks of it that way. It's more of a like cloud or a start struck moment mentality, which that's why I do everything more slow than everyone else, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
but it does become challenging to the point that now, that I want to expand. It's like, okay, everyone's kind of booked, or maybe not everyone sees it in that way. They see it more of a, okay, she didn't want to work with me then, okay, why should she work with me now? Well, it's because we all working each other up in different ways that now we can see each other halfway. Now it's mutually beneficial. It
Mhm.
wasn't then, and it wasn't personal, but not everyone in the industry sees that. And I think it's a very not emotionally mature mindset that if you don't have an agent, it's kind of hard to push through yourself, because it's like, now I'm dealing one on one with you and I have to get someone else to help me deal with something that we could do on our own. It's more of a sense of community that we're trying to build. uh I don't know if I explained myself correct now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. I absolutely get it because I will say that I have been a free agent before and I'm currently in process of becoming a free agent again. And I feel like that is definitely the scary part is the company's taking you seriously.
Right.
Because I feel like that is one of the things is if they see you on an agency website, they're like, all right, cool,
I'll book her, right.
but if they see, oh, booking independently, send me an email to here, a lot of people will be like, one, is this the real her? Let me go and do the research and all that. And two,
Right.
it's like, is she taking this seriously? Because if you
Hmm.
don't have an agent, I feel like especially in the first year,
Right.
companies will be like, oh, I don't know if she'll actually come through,
Or
stuff
she
like
be a good
or
performer.
or is she hard to work with and stuff like that?
Right. And also there comes the compensation rate, the things that people will be willing to do, to the extent that they'll be comfortable doing things just to get a shoot. You know what
yeah.
I
And
mean?
sometimes I feel like not saying this happens a lot, but some people pay people not to hire people that are independent.
Exactly. And I don't want to say it like that, but it's so unfortunate. And I've
Mhm.
seen it happen, and no one has to tell me directly. But when I come to different sets or work with different people and I hear what's being said, when you don't have representation, a lot of times people go with word to mouth, and not necessarily the word to mouth experience that you've had is the real experience of that performer. One, it speaks to your experiences, is more of perception, and it's so biased, you know
Mhm.
and that makes it just much more harder because sometimes you're not even giving me the opportunity to come out and reach out to you without an agent just because you've heard something or you think something of me,
Mhm.
and you're not giving me the chance. And
Absolutely.
that is one of the difficulties I've come across, because I've heard a lot of things about me, good, bad, and only few people that have worked with me know my performance, such as yourself, and the people close to me. But if people don't give themselves that chance, how am I going to progress, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
it's and
That's
it
a big
sucks too
thing.
because like, and I've said this before, as someone who has looked at multiple agencies' websites, is sometimes people are just sitting there doing nothing. And it's
Right.
like, okay, I'm signed, but like I've been signed with blah blah for like a year, and I've gotten two bookings from them.
Yeah.
I have all these from someone else. It's like,
Mhm.
so why am I paying you
Signed to you.
or signed to
Yeah.
somebody?
And
You
that's the
know,
concern I have because, right, maybe I'm a little bit unexperienced in this, but one of the fears that I've encountered or the perception that I've seen is that, okay, maybe I'm not in the same tax bracket as other performers that get more shoots or that do other things in order to get a certain stream income of like in line of stream. I'm not saying streamline of income, right? So, if I were, let's say, to sign with an agency as of right now, the percentage that they will be taking and certain accommodations that they will be making me take are not going to be necessarily favorable for me, just kind of like how you're saying.
yeah,
And some people kind of just do that just to get across from that, and that takes a toll on mental health. That takes a toll on other things. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's one of the reasons I haven't been signed. But now that I want to try to see which are the ways I can market myself independently or with an agency, it's like, okay, at my tenureship with my performance, how people are looking at me, what can I negotiate at this point? Being reasonable both with the agency, with my limitations, with my financial stability, and also what I'm able to offer and accept. Because a lot of girls just accept what they can. I've heard horror stories.
Yes, absolutely. I will admit I've gotten requests to film certain kinds of scenes that I've literally told them, I'm like, I am not broke enough for that.
Yeah, exactly. Morally. Hmm.
You know, I'm
Right.
like, look, I may not have money in my bank account today, but my
Right.
bills are paid. So
Right.
no, thank you. I'm not accepting that one. You know, stuff
Yes.
like that where it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not desperate enough for that. I appreciate
Yeah.
me up for it, but that's not my kind of scene.
Yeah.
So luckily they've been respectful about that, but sometimes you have to kind of step back and think, how do I tell them?
but
Exactly.
they did respect your, your
And, and I'm
boundaries.
so new, I wouldn't know how to navigate that. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
one of the reasons that I've kind of held myself back to not be taken advantage on in some ways. You know?
Honestly, I feel that you're not the only one. I mean, I know people have been in for years
Mhm.
who still allow people to take advantage of them because they are afraid to go independent and or they feel that they can be a scapegoat to certain people because yeah.
And that is a thing. And I guess I can elaborate a little bit on this now. There's a company that's no longer, that doesn't exist anymore, that had such a bad reputation that got me in some trouble and said and made a scandal, right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna say that I did take my accountability at that time, and I was really new. Both, if you're a producer in a scene and your company, you have to take accountability as well. And I was used as an scapegoat, and
Yeah.
that was without an agency. And that company is no longer working, thank God, because of all the allegations that added up, right? But
Mhm.
if it weren't for all the allegations that added up, they would still be working, and I would still be looked at that's scapegoat from that one scene that I'm still trying to get out of.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's an independent creator what I'm struggling with, and that some agencies, I don't know why, still look at me like that and talk about it behind the scenes and think I don't see it. And it's like,
Mhm.
how do I navigate and know who to work with, showing them that, hey, we've moved past that, there's accountability, I've grown, there's so many things. It's just so hard to navigate as an independent creator because there's so much favoritism that you have to play. And it's a real thing that people are scared to admit just to want to be signed.
Yes,
This
absolutely. I
this
will
whole
say the foreign
industry that's
politics does
favoritism.
get in the way sometimes. Right. I will leave it at that, but I feel like foreign politics really gets in the way of what we want to do
Right.
versus what we feel like we have to do.
And I would like to reassure with that for all anyone that's new watching this that wants to be on the rise to not take this into something intimidating, but as a learning process that as more experience Sarah being laced, being signed and not signed. She has
Mhm.
experience. Me not being signed, having that concern. Just educate yourself, not look at the first option, and definitely having a financial comfort to be able to navigate yourself without having to just put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Absolutely. And another thing that I will say is do not be afraid to hit up other performers for references.
Yes.
We may not always answer, I will admit. Someone
Yeah.
had messaged me back in November and I just saw because it was on Twitter. It was one of the Twitter
You
messages.
don't
I
read your
didn't follow
DMs.
them,
Yeah.
but we will see them,
We'll
send
try
an
or
email
see you in
or
person. Hit us on a
mhm,
convention. We're just so busy, you know.
yeah. But I will
But
say
yeah,
if you need a reference for something, let me know. I will be
yeah,
honest. I
yeah.
will be
I mean that's how I got somebody.
brutally
I got
honest.
somebody in the industry, and I'm not cool with that person anymore. But they hit me up on the Twitter, and I connected them, and now they're making money in porn.
That's good. And you know what I mean? Also, Sarah, with that, with a grain of salt, take the advice from look at who you're taking it, right? So, like
Hmm.
Yeah,
for example, I take your advice because you are a very, very tenured performer, right? And I'm not saying that to kiss ass, it's because you've seen who I work with. Dread, Mike Adriano, most recently Sarah Jays, Sarah Lace as well. You know, it's people that have a tenureship, that have been here in the industry, that know what they're talking about, that do have that history. Be careful who you take the advice from, because sometimes people will give you the advice to what's convenient to them, not what's convenient to you. Because
Absolutely.
I remember asking this chick one time, I'm not gonna say which performer, but I was trying to get shot with a mainstream company like Brazzers or Bank Bros, right? And I was like, listen, I wanna see what would you suggest if I wanted to get noticed by them, right? Because I don't have an agent. And she said, well, girl, if they wanted you, they would have hit you up already. You
That's
know, take a grain of exactly, exactly. And if it wasn't until I brought that up without mentioning who, also don't ever burn your bridges. Keep to yourself who it was, because it doesn't, you know what I mean, to make get messy. Just be impartial of the situation to someone that you think might see it differently. Be like,
mhm.
listen, do you think this is right? Because I've had to do that, because not everyone is gonna give you good advice either. There's a lot
yeah,
of
because
gatekeeping in this
there's a
industry.
lot of people out here who love to sabotage newer people
Yes.
because they
Hmm.
feel like if this person gets anything, they're gonna take their spot.
Right. Which
Yes,
is
And
not, which I don't understand, because there's so many categories, guys.
well,
We
absolutely.
all fit
I would say
somewhere.
this, like, because I've been in for a long, long, long time in porn.
Right.
Like I've been in, I joined in '08, so
Wow.
it's yes,
Yeah.
17 years in porn. Um,
Humbly.
there are so many people out here who just now joined the industry, and it's such an influx from because like back in the day when I joined, it was so hard
Hard. Hmm.
to even get an agent and all that stuff like that or to be
Yeah.
booked.
So I've heard.
And
Hmm.
since like 2000 and about 17, 18, when you have more program companies and it's
Hmm.
not so secluded, you
Hmm.
have
Hmm.
you don't just see like the Habib show and stuff like that. Now you see, you know, multiple other ones are out here
Hmm. With the similar.
like
Hmm.
who I'm trying to think of in New York. Um uh
I know
Black
Freak
dude.
Mob is in New
Thank
York,
you, Freak
New
Mob.
Jersey.
So like
That's what you're thinking of?
with
Yeah.
Freak Mob and Tadpole, and you have a lot more like pro am ones out here. My guy who's in Atlanta, that damn it, can't think of his name right now. You have my guy in Atlanta. Like we have multiple different options going on right now, and like back in the day, it wasn't there, and
It
so
wasn't like that.
it
It used
wasn't
to
like that. It was
where you
super
had
hard,
to go to
but
LA,
now
you had to go to Vegas to get these bookings.
but
Notice you.
but now it's like so many girls that are in with these agencies, wherever they get signed, and
Right.
they just sit there and they don't do anything,
And that's what, and
and
also,
that's what
and I
makes
don't
them
mean to shit
feel
on
like,
anything, but I feel there's a couple factors, and maybe I'm not a standard, but looking at the eyesight coming in, these are the factors that I see that are affecting it, right? Because I started from chatterbait. Maybe I didn't start from, oh 08 or whatever, but camming to OF to being semi-pro, it's a very hard process, right? Especially if you're doing it on your own, single mom. I went to my first exotica alone, self-represented, working hours at a strip club just to do that. But I think the facility of the access to everyone being open to OnlyFans, having an OnlyFans open, that popularity contest on Instagram instead of performance based.
Hmm.
Or more aesthetically instead of performance based, because this girl has a boob job versus the girl that actually does the faces that the people want to see when they're feeling,
mhm,
because this is a reality that we've presented, and it's so sad that I have to break, not kind of like take away the fantasy of our job, right? Kind of break the reality, not only through harassment but through other experiences and podcasts to real people. It's like, listen, real people get stretch marks, real people have acne, real people have jiggly flat boobs and stuff like that. These companies are focusing more on who has a better boob job, who has the most following count. And then I see these girls that, yeah, they're pretty, they're good, they look good and whatever, they have good followers and whatever, but their performance is just like not
Yeah,
entirely there.
like
And but they look good, you know.
it
two
happens
things, two
where
things.
it's just because of a big name, they'll hire them for their first scene before seeing what the performance is actually going to turn out.
Mhm.
Yeah, because two
And
things.
that's something I try to explain when people want to work with me, right? And I don't mind working if we have a similar basis, or you're up and coming, but your quality content. It's like that's what I'm looking at. I don't care if you're pretty, right? Because you know how many people there are. I want a good performer. I want good
Exactly.
quality. I want good angles. I don't care how many followers you have on
Three,
Instagram.
three things. When I was talking about Damian Cooper, KOP, that's the one in the Atlanta area. Two, there are so many people in this industry that don't realize that there's a lot of people that are very unattractive. Like I'm not attractive at all, but like I feel
Right,
there's
right,
so many people that in this industry that are just here. And
right.
like when it comes to followers, people would just take one person because they got really popular for some reason.
Hmm,
And
hmm.
then like, okay, this person has like 400,000, 400K followers, whatever, but they just, I'm not saying names, they just look at the camera the entire time and it looks weird.
Motionless.
It's like,
Or yeah, yeah.
it sucks and it's very noticeable. And that's just from me being on the production side of
But if I
everything.
say it, right, because I'm
Yeah.
curly, I'm an
And
order
and
dog,
it
I'm a
sounds like you're
performer,
hating.
it's gonna be like, oh, this hating ass bitch. No.
Yeah.
Eh,
Oh, did you see the name I had right here?
Oh,
What?
they love curly.
They
Because
love
like
curly.
I know your Twitter name says the hate curly.
The hate curly. It's the
Yeah.
you wonder
And that
why
yeah, and that's why I
it's a,
said the like this person
and thank
loves
you for
curly.
the love, because you guys love me for who I am, because I hey, listen, it's not a personal thing. It's an objective thing, and it's one of the reasons why I've gotten so far in such a short time frame. A lot of people think it's because of where I've been positioned and with the productions company I've worked with, which I will not say it's definitely helped, but it's helped in the sense that I've made it worked in my favor, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I've taken it as a learning opportunity rather than a cloud chasing opportunity, which I think is a big misconception and a big reason into why girls are just not that serious about what they do and give this full performance. When I started working with this companies, right, and I was very close to this producer, I learned how to properly streamline my content. I looked at how to properly vet a content creator or a performer that I may have to pay to keep the content because what if that person can't perform on camera and I just paid all this set, this Airbnb and all that. These are things, these are factors to take into consideration that I've had to work on my own little by little, that I just want people to take into account themselves when they're looking at the vetting process and how they also should be carrying themselves to go to that level of success instead of just hating.
I mean, there's
Absolutely.
a lot of people who just hate people just to hate people,
Yeah.
and it shows. It resonates. And then like you have people who like look for one thing to hate on somebody on, and then they
Mhm.
just tell everybody this one thing.
Right.
Like for example, I know of somebody who's like 85% of the time. I'm sorry, I just got a random.
Yes.
random Yeah, well, that was weird. Uh, I just got know someone who's always on time, and then one time they got stuck in traffic and they were late to come to like someplace because you know how LA is, you can never predict it.
You can
And
never
now
tell.
and now this
Uh,
person, like somebody, the person they were shooting with, somebody was just tweeting out, yeah, this person just all like late for no reason, and it's like they told you why they were like
Right.
running
They
late.
communicated.
Yeah, and they communicated it, whatever. And it's kind of
Right.
like, so now you want to give this person a bad reputation or a bad,
Right.
like saying, oh, this person's always going to be late in your set, you know?
Which is not real.
yeah.
Right. Which also very important, I would say, to set the tone, especially when it's the first time that you're given the opportunity to work with someone. I understand that situations happen, but I had a situation with a content creator that's trying to become a semi-pro performer that I chose to work with that was over an hour late to my set. Well, actually, probably didn't even make it to set, right? And I traveled all the way from Puerto Rico to just make it to that shoot. That's an expense that I had incurred. And
Oh, wow. Yeah.
yes, before a shoot, and most of us know if I'm gonna be in a shoot, I can't answer your text messages. I'm shooting, right? Preemptively, we have a time scheduled, and this is I want to make this example without pointing out which content creator it is, but an example for content creators to take jobs seriously when they are trying to work with other performers that are in a higher level, right? In that aspect, take your job seriously. Um, so this person had their phone on do not disturb all the time. So if you have a shoot established at a certain time and you need to communicate that you're late in traffic, and I tell you call me because I can't see text messages because I'm in the middle of the shoot, we don't commit effectively, and you're over an hour late to my shoot, I think it's my due diligence already, and also having a medical emergency past that time. I'm gonna cancel the shoot. You know, I
Yep.
can't reach you. You're on do not disturb. You didn't communicate how I asked you to be on shoot, and the time was preemptively established. There was an address. You didn't even try to show up because even people downstairs didn't tell me. No one showed up to my room. So if I'm canceling at that point, it's already an hour. You know what I mean? There's also we also have to be ethical and mindful when canceling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I have done it before where they were an hour late, but I will say they were communicating with me the entire time.
Right.
Right,
Like
communication is
even
key.
before they were late, they explained why they were about to be
Right.
late, gave me their ETA. They even
Right.
sent me their pinned location and let me follow it. So I was like,
Exactly.
okay, okay,
This
I
is
was
legit. Right.
exactly.
But if you're being evasive, your phone is on do not disturb for me to follow up and be like, listen, how much longer can I wait? Because we have a team to wait and all that. How
Mhm.
am I gonna make if it's a one-sided effort? Guys, keep in mind, not everyone's gonna have the same patience or the same budget to wait for you. Some companies can even cancel you at 15 minutes late. I've heard this and it sounds like an
Yeah.
asshole thing, but I've heard some producers cancel at 15 minutes late to the shoot.
Yeah. Then you got to pay a kill fee.
Cancellation. Yeah, kill fee.
Mm.
I
Absolutely.
found out,
So,
like, the thing is, I found out a way of I just learned about the way people get out of kill fees. And I find that so, well, how agencies get out of kill fees. And I found that, I've been around for years, I just found it out. Like, if they offer a different girl and that company rejects the girl, they don't gotta pay a
hmm
kill fee.
Okay.
I just learned that like the other day. I'm like, that's interesting. But no, the thing
so
is,
they pick and choose who to pay the kill fee for?
no,
Yeah.
let's say for example, like, they wanted you to come on set, and
Yeah.
no, let's rephrase this. Like I'm just gonna use so they wanted Jen to come on set, and then but let's say Jen got sick that morning, whatever, and she couldn't come up, like she got stomach flu. And then they said, okay, well, Jen's not available, but Beverly is. And they said, well,
Right.
we don't want Beverly. That's the way they get out of they get out of it because they offer
They gave you
somebody
an
else.
option.
Hmm. Okay.
Bingo.
Yeah. I
Sense,
learned
but
like, but that's just age. I learned that
It's not
yesterday.
illegal. Yeah.
So I
Very
mean,
true.
like,
It's
but it
not
has
it.
to be. I mean, I know it has to be like someone within the same
That
atmosphere.
knows.
No,
Right.
same atmosphere. Like you can't
kind of
like
niche
like
section.
if like you I mean like if the company wanted a BBW, um, and you say okay that person's got a stomach flu, you can't offer them a petite woman that's a different race and say here you go because it doesn't match their thinking.
Or maybe, yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't have the option.
yeah, but it has to match. If
Hmm.
it's someone who matches the
Their
same thing you're
aesthetic.
doing, yeah. I learned that yesterday. I'm like,
That's
oh.
crazy.
I feel
That's
like
crazy.
that's why it's more difficult to book a free agent because in case something happens in their head, they're like, well, we don't have a replacement.
Yeah.
I feel like in a sense that makes it more understandable, but at the end of the day, you nor I have never had a kill fee. We've never had to pay that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, I don't know. But there was one time I almost came close to paying that kill fee and it would not have been my fault. But
Mm,
yeah, that time my agent was like, yeah, you should have left and you should have called me right away. And I was like,
wow.
but I'm just professional to the point where I'm like, well, I'm already here. I
Yeah,
already signed.
I'm gonna try to push through it. I am same, same. And sometimes we are so people pleasers and we're so much of yes man because we're so good. And we
Yeah.
just push through it. And guys, try it, think it twice. Like, take a breather. Something I learned also when I started that I know it's gonna sound maybe silly, but other people might have not heard. Don't sign anything until after the shoot. You know what I mean? So you can't like maybe you can initial it and whatever, but don't sign it. So if anything happens, you can just void that contract before. You know what I mean? You're not stuck with that shoot and you didn't want to do something and then you signed it already.
Or
Yeah, that's
make
one of the difficult
or
things to
always make sure that when you do your video of what is cool and what's not cool, that you also keep a copy of yourself saying it,
Yeah.
just so the footage doesn't wind up missing. Um,
for real.
Yeah.
Because I will admit I do sign all the paperwork as soon as I get there, submit my IDs and stuff. But I personally have only canceled a scene once, and that was a content trade. We were in the middle of doing things, and
Right.
he was angry and upset already because he was not getting his way. So I had to be like, nope, we're not doing this.
Yeah, killed it. Yeah.
oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
y'all, like new performers, um, content is content, sex is sex. It's not a relationship.
Absolutely. And there's a difference also with content creating and also like on-set performance. There's similarities, but there's also there's more people. It's not because I say basis on that on this. Sometimes when I try to bring a videographer on set, content creators are like, no, I want to do it one-on-one. And
Yeah,
that's like, bro, you just want to have sex with me, bro. Like, what the fuck?
exactly.
Like, I'm a performer. I'm not a content creator. If you just want to do that, I'll do it with your homie. You know what I mean? Like, something to take into account when you're looking at bigger talents to work with. And
Hmm.
that's where that sex is sex, relationship, which happens at every level, whether content or performer, and then that confusion as to, hey, if you're working with a non just content creator, but actually someone that's performance set, don't take it as condescending, but take it as a learning experience. Because if you just wanna do things your way, then just look at someone at your own scale level that does things that way. Don't take it personal.
And one of the things I do have to bring up with that is we are not fluffers,
Oh
okay?
my
We're
god, I heard that.
performers. right?
Yeah,
We are performers. If the male talent needs help
right,
up, we can absolutely do that. We can help. But at least try to get yourself like semi-hard, you know?
right.
The
It's
reason
a
like the
yeah.
reason that the guy was upset at me like during that one film I had to cancel was because he walked in like with a full attitude, signed the paperwork and stuff. And then we started the film and he took his clothes off and was like, "All right, get me hard."
And he was like a gummy worm.
Yeah, gummy worm. He didn't even put his hand on it to stroke a single time. He was just like, yeah.
And I hate to say it because you're maybe nicer about it, but sometimes I've been like, bro, that's not my job.
Yeah,
That's
I
literally,
get
it's
it.
very old mindset. It's like maybe that was a thing at some point, but like,
Okay, it's like
dude,
it used to be like it used to be people on set that just literally was there to keep the dude hard. And
right,
don't get me wrong, I know that like some people like literally need the help in order to get hard. And it's like depend
l-
because like
let me
and
know before working with you so I don't have to come on set and find that out, you know?
I mean no
Exactly.
because like outside of like in general like if you're on a pro set you're not always attracted to the person you're doing scenes with.
Right,
And that works both ways.
right.
And like so sometimes you need that little
Extra push.
extra encouragement, And so and as a person as someone who is a penis carrier, like I know sometimes it's kind of like I'm doing this and I don't, it's just you can't just do that because, sometimes whatever. And yeah, for that. But if you know that going in, at
Right,
least do something to try to get yourself hard. There are pills.
absolutely.
There are pills for that. There are shots
Hmm.
for that. Like I don't
Hmm.
have it. I don't have the mock-up. Like
There's jellies, there's so many options.
there's supplements that that can help
Supplements.
you.
Hmm.
Maintain the erection.
Yeah.
So and if you're like a person who wants to go to porn or into porn, you're a male, you can't just say, okay, I have a big dick, I can do porn
Right.
in last 2 minutes.
Mhm.
That's not all that goes into it. Thank you for bringing that up. If I can segue into that,
Yeah.
and that's something that it goes into my vetting process. It's like, okay, how long can you maintain certain positions accordingly to the needs of my shoot, not what's pleasurable to you or what you can maintain on, on your poor performance because you didn't prepare yourself. There's a lot of people that are camera shy, and
Mhm.
because you're camera shy and you don't tell me you're camera shy and then you just cancel randomly or you're like you're not comfortable with my camera guy, then I'm gonna be like, okay, there's some shady stuff. But we don't have to go through that, we can both prepare ourselves. Like I don't mind. I've done like tour here and there to just, have someone visually stimulated, but I'm not personally comfortable having to just go on out of my way, just like you said, to do that. And
Yeah.
I've had people that do POV shots that are like, oh well, we gotta that cancel shoots with me because they're like, oh, we gotta make out in order for me to work, and I'm like, but this is a POV shot, like why? How
Yeah.
does that play any part into it? You know what I mean? So it's like you get into that. So guys, just if that's not your thing, preemptively prepare yourself because it's uncomfortable for both parties. You know what I mean? And it goes also into girl girl. If you're not into girl girl, don't do girl girl.
I
That
mean,
too. Don't
there's
be gay for pay.
there's a lot of girls out here that get pay, and
Yeah.
like since personally I only watch Girl or Girl Machine, I've seen girls who are gay for pay, whatever, and it looks like you're allergic to licking, and it's not like
You're allergic.
it's like I can see you don't like it, and
You're
that's
uncomfortable.
as a consumer,
Yeah.
of it, it just kills the entire mood. And I understand like
Yeah.
every girl does not like, you know, doesn't like licking another female, which is okay. Just like
Other
if
things you can do.
you get other things you could be the strapper, and
Yeah.
you don't
Play to it.
necessarily yeah. And there's other
Mhm.
things like you could be a yeah. There's things you can do, or
Yeah.
just have them eat you out, whatever, whatever.
Yep.
But it's like there's supplementary ways you can do whatever. But as far as you
Hmm.
said about position goes, though, like I'm helping a friend of mine, like they just started joining whatever, and I tell them it's like good rule of thumb is 4, 5, 5, 6. And that's I'm sorry for y'all out there. I'm sorry. 4 minutes to 5 minutes per position and do
Per
a certain
position.
amount, or 5 to 6, and you have a lower number amount. So if you plan on doing
Hmm.
5 positions, a four or
Hmm.
five might be good for 20 minutes. If we plan
Hmm.
on doing like 3 positions, a 5 to 6 would be good for whatever. That gives you at least 15 to 18 minutes. Because
Hmm.
you're not trying to go for like do an 85-minute scene.
Right,
You're trying
right.
to get in and out, but you're trying to make sure you
At least
fall
20.
you fall within, like I always say 17 to 25, because
Okay.
because sometimes if you have the dialogue, you know,
Mm.
and like and sometimes and this is my brain. Sometimes someone could be having a really good. I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean to say someone so like negative to anybody else. Sometimes y'all don't realize how good y'all pussy is.
Hmm.
And sometimes like it feels too good and you can't control it. And you eat like
I
even the
can
best,
tell you how to handle that.
yeah, I
I
mean
can tell you how to handle that.
even the best performers like damn.
No. So listen, when that happens, both male and female performers just switch out current positions in order to give each other a break of the simulation of that moment. Because I had someone that is very well known that could not last in one specific position for 10 seconds. So imagine trying to shoot at least a 15-minute video every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds. I'm like, bro, we're going to have to do something else because you can't handle it. You know what I mean? So when that happens, in order, because you are not even going to make it to that 5 minute threshold, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Switch it up. Switch it up in order to give that person a break because they're human. They need a break from that. You're being too much for them, and that can happen.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I agree. But like
Hmm.
it's just like sometimes you just can't help it. Because
Yep.
we gotta
So
admit, sometimes they can't help it. So what we planned to be a
yeah.
25-minute scene ends up being, what was it, 16 minutes, I think?
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
always give a rule of thumb like 16 to 20 to 23,
yeah.
24 for content, like because you can't always control what a company wants you to do. That's their company.
Yeah.
If you're doing
Hmm.
content, like
Or paid. Hmm.
because you always, yeah, or pay whatever, because sometimes you do have the dialogue, and sometimes the dialogue and the foreplay is like 2 3 minutes, and like you're not, if you eat for like if someone is going down on someone first whatever, and you're doing an X amount, 4 5 5 6 thingy,
Hmm.
you have that time whatever to at least hit a certain amount of time
Yeah.
that you're not being penetrated.
Like play with that.
Yeah, play with that. And you can always, if you're inside and you feel it coming, you can pull out and eat her out and just let your
Exactly.
whatever.
That's kind of where I was going with.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but it's like
That's not always the
some
case.
Yeah, it's
sometimes
not.
like y'all just
And,
don't realize sometimes it's
and the
like
only reason why I have that rule of thumb, and thank you for aligning me, was because depending on every content creator or performer streamlines their content, there are some sites that require a minimum type of footage for you to be able to monetize on it.
Mhm.
And you want to make sure that it's not crucial parts of the film, so they know where to look for it, not for free.
Yes,
That
exactly.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
So
why
if
my
I,
rule of thumb is at least 5 minutes of dialogue and foreplay.
exactly, so you can
Or
put
you
that
get
there.
to penetration,
There you go. See, free advice. You're welcome, guys. This is how much we love you.
but
You
okay.
get that 5 minute intro and then you put in like 30 seconds of each position and you're just like, y'all know where to find it.
Right, right, or loop
So,
it.
so quick question. So I want to talk about this because we've been on your merchandise. Tell us about your merch.
Yes. I need a
So,
Me?
bucket hat.
I'm gonna say this real quick.
Yes, I have a bucket hat
So
somewhere.
no, no.
Fudge.
Before we got on the podcast, we were testing out streaming on Twitch for a little
Uh-huh.
bit,
Yeah,
like just like so we could do it via Zoom.
I am
And
dying to get on
and while
Twitch.
and while and while we were on here chilling, she was looking at your merchandise. She was like, "Oh, I love this bucket hat." And she like we were talking to chat about how would y'all feel if I wore this bucket hat about your we were talking about wearing your bucket hat on Twitch
What did
earlier.
people say?
They loved
Like
the
they loved it.
idea. I think
Because
someone
I don't know if
finally.
do you know Swift Kid? You ever heard that name before?
I think she
I've
knows.
heard it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Swift Kid was in the chat and he was talking about that he would like love the rocket chips.
Oh, I'll send y'all some bucket hats. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, so
I really do.
And I
we
always
were
try
talking
to
about that.
financially support my co-performer, so just let me buy it, okay?
Yeah,
Yes,
same.
and then also for
I
the
would
girls, I have these babies.
Oh,
I would more so I would buy a shirt from you because my head is too big and I have dreadlocks and it makes it really hard to put anything on
You're
this.
good. I have some oversized tees coming out for guys that look really, really cool that
Yeah,
I'll
I
send
support that.
one of the
I
first
will
ones.
rock it. If you had like once you get it 2XL, I would buy it because I have a whole
You got it.
suitcase. I have a whole suitcase over here of just performers t-shirts.
That's
Like that I
dope.
switch like I when I wear it to certain events, just say, hey, I got
Yeah.
blah blah one today, you know.
Yeah, no, but I wear it for my stand up all the time. I get it. In the
But
gym.
okay, I'm sorry, but go ahead. Go. What do you have currently or that you will have when this goes live?
Okay, so I'm in the process of streamlining all through to my Shopify to the currently ricanstore.com, but some of it is currently in my Manivits Clip store, which is I believe where you saw the bucket hats, which is pretty cool because what it comes with the bucket hat is a free video. So it's like,
Okay.
you know, you get a two for one, you know, type deal. And then on my site, I'm launching these sites that are like for like you can wear pajamas or crop tops. I don't know if you guys have seen the freak mob shirt, but it kind of has the same tight fit that you can wear with undergarments that have the same matching colors,
mhm.
and some gym wear and these booty shorts that I'm wearing too.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So
I
your
love.
butt can always be popping.
See, I'm definitely slacking on my merch, but I love the idea of yours. Like, mind you, I have almost one of every Freak Mob shirt, and those are comfy.
Exactly. Imagine having that same feeling and tight fit because it can fit so comfortably to your body too. So I got them with different brands and different little slangs and all that. So we're working on that. And
Yeah,
it should be, this one's already available, but the next one should be in around summer.
perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
So this episode is coming out June 9th, if I'm correct. So maybe by then you will have had released a few more.
Absolutely. And also, I have scenes with great people coming up by then that you guys are going to enjoy that. Also feature that merch. So you're going to get the best of two views. I just shot a couple of days ago with Sarah J. a couple scenes. So that's going to be legendary and fun. I'm looking forward because it's coming out around that date.
Okay.
Okay. And for funsies, I will re-release our sexy girl scene. Mm.
Newbie cherry time. Amateur cherry time. You guys are
Right?
going to love it.
That
You guys
was
are going to love
such
it.
an awesome scene. The
I've
It
one
was
never
that,
great. And it's
I've never
outdoorsy
seen
and
this
so
thing.
aesthetic. It's amazing.
I've never seen this thing.
oh,
It's
he
a must watch.
hasn't seen it yet, but I'll send it to him later so he can research.
Absolutely.
It always feels weird watching my friends,
I know.
Oh,
and
But
no,
now,
and it's only
it's
because like
okay.
I've known people for so long, and it's like
I get it.
it just like once I know your government name, it's kind of like
It's over with.
it's like
yeah,
I know your hopes and aspirations in life. I
I
know that
feel that. I feel it. You go to love it. You go to love
you
it.
have you have goals. Oh my God, you're not
Oh
human
my,
anymore.
you were a teacher? Oh my God, no.
you're humanized now. I can't
Human
watch
eyes.
porn.
I actually have those problems with my friends because live on a small island,
Yeah.
and Latinas trend. So they gotta be like, bro, ruined my whole life because you come in my reference videos, and I have to be like, I
Yeah,
can't see that. People
that's
actually
actually
mute
fun.
me.
I mean,
That's
that's
so
how,
always
like,
funny when they hit you up and they're like, damn it, I
I
saw
hate
another
you.
one of yours. Yeah.
no, back when I first, like, around my second year in porn, like, I was on one of the porn sites, and like, I didn't know a model I knew did porn stuff until like it was a pop up, and it was this is when Haze Her was still popular. Haze
Mm,
Her video popped up. I'm like, oh, I know her. I'm like, oh my God. And I just had to like grab my phone, like, are you are you doing porn? I said,
yeah,
I just got a random pop up. It's
terrible.
like,
See,
okay.
it's a love-hate
It's a
relationship.
process.
Depends who sees it, you know? It really
I
depends
bet.
who sees it.
I bet also I had like friends like when I shoot with certain people, they're like, "Oh my God, you're shooting with that person, legendary." It's like their whole like teenage years come through like realization they're living vicariously. So there's that side of it too.
Hmm.
It's
Oh,
funny.
I've actually recently had people mention you before. Like just
Mm,
recently where they're like, you did a scene with Curly Rican and
I get the same thing too from you. That's how
I
I'm
was
like,
like, yeah.
yes, we're cool. We're awesome people. Thank you. I love her as much as you love her.
Hmm.
That's
Exactly.
so cool. People
So
for work were just normal people.
mhm.
We're just
It's so
cool.
awesome when they like mention a fellow like friend slash performer, and I'm like, oh yes, she's so awesome.
It's like I really know this person. I really, really know them, and I know how they're really like, and it's so cool because
Mhm.
it gives them that aspect that I wish everyone would just think more often.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
it's really funny though sometimes when you're very close friends with a performer to the point where you kind of forget to like film stuff, even if you're just
You
hanging out.
start talking,
Yeah,
hanging
you
out.
film like a little TikTok or something just to be like, hey, look who I'm with or whatever.
Yeah,
And people
mm,
are like, do y'all even like talk? Do y'all like each
yeah.
other? And I'm
They're so
like,
surprised. You're
it's
like, we're just friends. Like, she's just like my homegirl, like that. I found my freaking bucket hat, like, better like than never. Like,
yeah.
it's kind of like dusty to laugh. It's kind of dusty, but it kind of goes like this. I have my headphones on, but I don't know if you guys can see
that is
it.
so cute.
So pretty. See, I told you, Rostar, I need one.
I didn't say like I was. It was cute. I said it was cute when we looked at it. We were talking
My
about
headphones are.
it.
So this will go out. If you guys want to do a promo later on that, if for people that watch this episode specifically, we'll give them a special percentage to support this podcast because we're a community.
Someone buy me one, please, and thank you.
Absolutely, we'll take those too.
The question. So, ultimately, like, who have you not worked with that you want to work with? Give me top five.
Hmm.
Give me your top
It
five.
can be performers and it can be companies as well. There's
Performance
no
companies,
gender.
male, female, TS,
I'm not
Well,
alien.
anybody.
I don't know a lot of people, but let's see. Monica Santiago,
Mm.
the one. Definitely, I have that audience in Brazil. Eu amo Brazil, to my people. Let's see who else. I would like to work with Johnny Sins. I know that's very cliche, but this is the thing. There's so much comedy behind the scripting, right? And you guys know the different known people I bring to life, right? Such as Velma and like other cosplays. So I'm like, this is who I saw, and these are the one of the reasons I like that scripting. So that's another person. Let me think. Gee, golly, you got me really, really good there. I recently worked with someone that I would definitely work with again because they're very ethical. Oh, I don't, what's his name? Dick Slanker was his name. He's so tall and like light-eyed. Let's see. Sarah J definitely would work again. Dread would definitely 10 out of 10. Mike Adriano for his other sides that I haven't had the opportunity to work with. Maybe like True Anal or stuff like that. Um, s- Probably those companies definitely. Who does not want Bang Bros, Brazzers, and all that, right? So I would say that's a pretty heavy list right there.
I mean, you can do it. You know why? 'Cause you're currently Rican,
I
damn it.
That's right. But I will say, when I got my booking for Bang Bros, they had actually tweeted out that they were looking for performers in Miami, and I sent them an email. I literally just sent them an email, I sent them my measurements and stuff, and they're like, "Bet we want to book you. We have availability on this day, and this day. When are you available?"
Okay.
I was like, "Yes."
So you would say more look out with their postings on their site, or where did you find this out?
Yeah, this was on Twitter.
Mm,
I filmed with them quite a while ago, but it was pretty much a last minute booking, and I will say they randomly will tweet out stuff like that. I don't think you have to wait for one of those tweets. I think you really can just email them with your stats and your info, and I think they will want to book you.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, because I know,
Thank you for the vote of
I know for
confidence.
one of them in particular, for Bang Bros, they always are looking for somebody for Bang Bus, and
Right.
they usually try to get like usually newer people, and yeah, it's really like it's that's for like be the best one that's the easiest of
ACS.
all their sites because normally if you look at Bang Bus, it's like usually like brand new people, so.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Thank you.
they did tell me at least that I was a little too well known for Bang Bus, but they did put me straight into Bang Bros as one of the like Latina maids.
Something worked, right? I'm
Mhm.
gonna try that then.
Uh, the maid vibe, but with the yoga pants and like a yoga top.
I love that. I love that.
Honestly, the funniest part, at least for this scene, was they ordered a pizza. It wasn't for us to eat. They ordered a pizza, took different bites, and then kind of like threw them around for me to clean up.
Oh wow, that's creative. I'll say that. I did that with my Dunkin' Donuts one.
Did you?
Yeah, the donuts were just, I had to eat another donut, donut after donut. Some donuts fell.
Yeah.
Fortunate time for the donuts. Yeah, felt guilty after that.
I know. I feel guilty like wasting the food, but I'm just like, you know what? It served its purpose. It was for a good cause.
Someone's gonna love this somewhere. Someone's son is gonna be proud of this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. That reminds me, you did what is it, like a UPS style scene, I think?
right. Damn, I've done pretty much every delivery service you can think of besides UHL, I want to say. So
Right?
let's say UPS, USPS, FedEx. What else is there
Just
to
love it.
deliver?
You were delivering the goods, okay?
Yes, absolutely. Amazon is pending, definitely.
I think you did
But
a DoorDash-esque one too, right?
yeah, like I've done like foot ones. Those are definitely funny. It's just everything, you know. My favorite ones are cosplay ones because it's just like bringing this character to life or just really dumb lead ups. You know what I mean? The lead ups that you're like, how in the real world would this make sense? But okay, let's give it a shot.
Exactly, exactly. I love cosplay for that reason. And mind you, this is why I like filming what we do, because there is no one size fits all. You can be as
Right.
creative as you want to be.
Because you were like Prince Jasmine, right?
Yes, I
Oh
did.
my God. I
Mhm.
am dying. I have not been a princess yet. I have to try it. I'll probably be brave or something like that. Because, like, look at this hair. I don't know.
I mean, when I did Princess Jasmine, I did my own hair. Obviously, my hair is not as curly as yours, but I put my hair up. I had the ponytail extension that was like past my waist. It
It's
was
cute. I might try it.
It was definitely heavy,
That's
but it
funny.
was awesome, I will say.
That's cute.
Maybe we
Sounds
should
fun.
do a princess
We should do
tattoo.
something like that for princesses. I was thinking, yes, I'm gonna think of some princesses stuff.
Snow White.
Yeah, I could wear a wig for that one because I'm like kind of lighter.
Hmm.
Could try that. I like that. That's
Yeah,
fun.
but people love your
Curly hair.
people. Yeah,
Yeah. I
I
feel
know
like you
that.
can still
I mean,
embody
gets your I mean
Snow White with the curly
your name
hair.
is curly.
It freaking sucks. The last conventions I went with the ponytail and people just walked past me, did not recognize me, and I had a huge banner with my name on it. But for the ponytail, they're like, not her. Now I have my curly hair, and they're like, oh, it was her there. I'm
Yeah,
like,
see,
yeah,
like so you're known for your hair.
yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
It's
Absolutely.
it's it's in the name.
Trademark.
Now you know.
The
Trademark.
curly, natural, all
Yeah, I
natural.
love it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm like no makeup, no lashes on, so it's just it is what it is.
Exactly.
So
I love doing that. That really does give us that Latina next door vibe,
Yeah.
where we
Mm-hmm.
don't always have to wear makeup on our scenes.
Because it's not realistic all the time.
Exactly. I will literally do random ass like videos where I'm just hanging out at home and I'm like, you know what? I'm horny and he's playing video games and he's not giving me attention. So I just
Right.
go put the tripod up somewhere, start recording. I'm like, babe,
This is what I'm gonna do now.
yeah,
I
things
feel that.
go from
Gotta
there.
be creative.
Exactly. I love
so
just having fun in our natural environment.
Hmm.
so question. So 4 or 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
4 or 5 years from now, definitely. I, I don't think I'll have that extended of a career performing wise. Because I do want to expand into the sense of either producing or merge and sportswear, all that. Not that I'd shame on performing, right? But I do have certain conditions that my body will not probably give out for an extended period of time, right?
Hmm.
As well as certain life expectations that I have with align with the lifestyle I want to live a certain couple of years from now, right? So I
Understandable.
definitely am taking some real estate classes. I'm working on this clothing stuff. I'm going to be working on producing some sort of Latina spin off on the bus stop, some other places, and I'm just gonna put it at that. To try to be on the back end of that aspect, right? And just try to still be in the community, but in other ways that I'm not necessarily in front of the camera.
Okay, understandable. I hope
That
like
brings
I
me to a
really
friend.
hope that your production side goes off because I think, after you've been around for a little bit, you learn what people really want and how, you know, to what I'm looking for here, how to sell it, how to marketize it,
Right.
so I wish you the best with that because
Thank
I
you.
know you can blow up.
I hope so. Because especially with the clothing brand and all that, trying to work with comedy and all that. I'm trying to do so many things, man.
Mhm.
I definitely want to grow, and also want to do a nonprofit, which and in a sense of mental health, especially with our struggles in our job setting. I know you guys know a pineapple support something like that to that extent,
Hmm.
and also something for the community, kind of those different aspects. But I've always been into the social aspect of that, that part of helping others, and that's what I went to school for. That's something that also is something to keep in the mind in the future as well, not just only to have that investment, but also to do a nonprofit to help others. So it's just a couple of things I have in my
Psychology,
mind that I work on.
psychology.
Psychology, yeah.
Mm.
Oh no, my major was in human rights,
Oh,
anti-discriminatory.
okay. As
Yeah.
long
Oh,
as, I'm sorry.
that's what I want to go back into, most definitely, because it will be the basis of the thesis. But actually, my major was in human rights and anti-discriminatory processing. Which
Okay.
definitely gave me a perspective into the correlation of the lack of accessibility to affordable mental health and that correlation with criminality or sex work rate. It's like you would not imagine how many of these girls have BPD and it's like undiagnosed or the signs are there and it's like, you know what I mean? Haven't you been around the block with certain mental health conditions? You see it, but you're not a special trained person to do it, but you want to give them a safe space because you see it yourself in them, you know? So that's
Yeah,
something I kind of want to bring out there because I want everyone has that bravery and I don't want to make them feel discriminated because I feel a lot of girls really need that support.
absolutely. And that does bring me to another, I guess, random question. Do you know if there's any production companies or like physical studios within Puerto Rico?
No, not really. So I'm hoping to be one of the first.
See, that would be amazing.
I'm bringing people.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was thinking because from at least from what I know, I have not heard of any.
No, and there's only one time testing, which makes it really hard because people here don't take their job seriously. It's like that whole content creator, real performer type thing that we're talking about, right? It's such a small island, it's a small mindset that it's like only the few selected that have gone to LA or whatever will take it with the seriousness that we have, you know? And I want to bring that aspect here and I want them to grow. The girls here at the talent testing love Stacy over there in Miami. So shout out to Stacy, we love her. So, but definitely is that concept I want to bring out, you know? And other companies are more than welcome. Definitely want to network that as well, you know?
It would honestly be really nice to see a production studio based
Yeah,
out of Puerto Rico.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
that's not no easy feat to do, but
yeah.
that's
It's doable.
mhm.
It's doable, definitely.
Yeah, it's like a whole new market by itself because like
Absolutely.
everybody would say, "Oh," and they say, "Oh,
Sure.
all Puerto Rican
Thank you.
personnels," and it's like more people would say, "Oh, people who are like me," because
Yeah.
produced, more produced by me rather than the makeup of
Right.
the other places.
Also to think about in that aspect is something that I'm endeavoring in is Act 22 and Act 19 is the property exemption if you bring commerce into Puerto Rico. So if you're a production company, you can have a content house here.
That'd be
And,
awesome.
and it's like you don't have to go to Colombia necessarily. You can just come from Miami here.
Hmm.
There's a talent testing here, you know?
I've never
It's
been to Puerto
pretty,
Rico. I need to
yeah,
up my game.
Hmm.
absolutely. Yeah, must go.
I need to. I need to go to Puerto
Mhm.
Rico. I know you
Yeah.
don't need a passport for this, but
Now,
I just
just
apply.
IG. Yeah. No, you got me hungry already. You're like, you need to go because I think people come for the food, and I'm like, man, I gotta eat too.
Exactly, exactly. Because, like, when we travel for work, we're not only traveling for work, we're also trying to find new experiences. And most of
Yeah,
them tend to be food-based, I'll admit. I
yeah.
feel like a lot of performers tend to be foodies. Um, but for good foods, we're
Hmm.
not gonna go to a new place just to try the same old thing. We want to go
Right.
to a new place, find a mom and pop shop,
Yeah,
stuff like that where they give us some good, authentic food.
yeah. Absolutely.
That may be
And
something
that's
to
what I
really.
want to show people in Puerto Rico.
uh, that reminds me, didn't you do a beach scene?
I do a lot of them, yeah, but it's hard because there's people that peep. It's
Yeah,
bad, peepers.
see,
And it's like I'm getting more popular here, so it's like I gotta be more cautious.
I get
People are
that.
eyeballing you. So,
Yeah.
question. So, where can everybody, find you, buy your content, become one with Curly?
Yeah. So like let's see. My Instagram is the girly Rican underscore. My Twitter is the Hey Curly. My OF is Curly Rican official or the Curly Rican official. You can just Google Curly Rican. It'll be easier. A lot of things will pop up. I'm in all sites. I'm on many vids.
Make
Yeah,
sure it's
I'm
really
on.
hurt, y'all. People are weird out here.
Huh?
Mhm.
I said, make sure it's really you. I said, people are weird out here.
Oh yeah, 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 definitely. So for Instagram, I'm verified, definitely me. And yeah, another thing is I don't answer my pages with bots, and sometimes it takes a bit for me to respond, but it's because I try to keep it authentic. So definitely
Oh, before, because I was wrapping up, there's one thing that I got to say, because you just brought it up. People out there who pay for OnlyFans people to monitor your site, make sure they don't send the same message to everybody.
it's every
This
Warden
exact because
spam. Hmm.
I don't follow anybody like really a lot on my on our OnlyFans stuff. But I was looking one day and like three different humans had the exact
Same
same
thing.
message. And I'm
Yep.
like,
They're
okay.
using the same bot or the same person.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm like,
And I
like
tell
And
it,
that just creates a bad name for other of us because I may have the same caption for the same video or resend the same video. And
them.
people are like, is this really you? Because it's taking you so long to answer. And it's like, yeah, this is
like
organic, right?
if it takes a while to answer, I understand. But like it was something about dancing, and they all said, I can't be a good dancer, but I can dance for you," or something. It was
Oh
something
my
stupid like that.
God. Corny.
It was really corny, but it was just like it went out from three different people, and like because
Yeah.
like since yeah since like the people who do the nude podcast we do, like it shows up as followed whatever because I tagged them to it, and
Hmm.
those messages get sent to me and other people who whatever it pops up and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're just like, well, now I know who has a management team.
Yep. And yeah.
and there's nothing
And
wrong with it, but if they're sending messages out for you, I can say if like
mhm.
you want people someone could
Try to
control what
regulate it.
yeah because
Yeah, it happens with Twitter too. There's people I know in person that I get messages saying, "Hey, my manager wants to connect with you," and I'm like, "Bro, you know me in person." So I
Yeah,
know that person has a management team because why would this person be sending me this random ass message?
yeah
exactly.
Monitor that, guys. Monitor it better. Make your
Mhm.
money's worth spent.
Exactly. I will say that is one of the big things that we see.
Hmm.
okay
Mhm.
Sarah Lights, where can I find you?
Okay, so you guys can find me on iamsarahLace.com. All of my links and my social medias will be on there.
We are the Burbank Misfits on Instagram, Burbank Misfits on Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky. I'm Rawstar, RWSCAR on Instagram, the Twitter, and on Blue Sky. Miss Curly Rican, you are an absolute joy. Everybody
Thank
out
you.
there go out and buy her merch, shower her with the love and gifts that she deserves. Make
Thank
sure you go out and buy her content on every platform that she says. And then you know what? If you feel even more feisty, just give her a tip of an extra $20 and say, "This is just for being you." You know,
Thank you.
yeah. And I wish you the best success in everything that you do.
Appreciate it.
So everybody, please tune in next week. I don't know who the guest will be, but yeah, be well, be awesome, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, guys. Stay